Hey YouTube, welcome to our Go For Low overlanding channel and our first how-to video. If you were like me, you've been using GaiaGPS for years, making routes and saving waypoints and tracks of all your outdoor adventures. Nowadays, when you go to use Gaia app version on your mobile device, it's slow and buggy. Your maps are cluttered and hard to read. You want to clean things up, but it seems like a daunting task and you don't know where to begin. The GaiaGPS app has become a victim of its own success as far as on-device performance goes. You've heard about other mapping options like Onyx and you're considering ditching GaiaGPS altogether. I'm excited to show you a new yet unannounced GaiaGPS feature that has just been released that is now live on the web interface of GaiaGPS that will finally help rein things in for you to organize all of your saved data and improve performance of Gaia in a quick and easy way. Bonus tip. If you stick around to the end of the video, like and subscribe, I'll also show you how to use the new Only Visible on Map filter to quickly change your map waypoints from a meaningless sea of red pins to any one of the hundreds of informative map icons available in GaiaGPS. After using GaiaGPS for about 5 years, I've built up a collection of thousands of waypoints, tracks, and routes through off-roading, overlanding, and research from my couch watching some of my favorite YouTube channels. Unfortunately, over time, Gaia has become less and less responsive when I'm out in the field using it both on my phone and tablet. The reason for this is because the program was having trouble processing all the saved data points I had open on the screen at one time. Besides that, with no organization system in place, my maps were looking cluttered and becoming more difficult to use on the trail while trying to drive and navigate unfamiliar territory. I began the time-consuming process of organizing all of my saved data into folders by region, state, and for some places like Colorado, with lots of saved waypoints, even by national forest. When I'm out in the rig using Gaia on a mobile device, leaving all folders switched off and only enabling the ones I'm interested in seeing at a given time, I was able to greatly increase the responsiveness of the GaiaGPS app. A few months ago, Gaia added the Sync to Mobile feature that allows you to select if a particular item will download to mobile devices, but use of this option would require the option to be turned on or off for each item individually on a mobile device. In Data Summary View on the web version, it is possible to multi-select items to toggle the Sync to Mobile feature, but again, they cannot be filtered by location on the map, only by date, alphabetically, or by text search filter. Not a great solution for areas with hundreds of waypoints or dozens of tracks. In the past, if you were trying to organize your saved items into folders, ones that were entered on the same dates could be filed into their respective folders easily at the same time, but ones that had built up over time, even ones close together on the map, had no way of being filtered together and required painstaking, one by one clicking at a time to file them into their proper folders. Ask me how I know. I've spent more time than I'm willing to admit doing this, especially now that I recently finished this new feature is finally here. Previously, there has been no way to select multiple items close to each other on the map. This process had taken me hours. Lucky for you, if you're one of the people who are getting frustrated with Gaia's clunky folder interface and starting to think about switching over to another mapping option, this new feature may just be your saving grace and get GaiaGPS playing nice for you again. Even though other options like Onyx are improving all the time and do have some pros over GaiaGPS, I still feel that the availability of so many useful map layers and the ability to organize saved data still makes GaiaGPS the best choice for 4x4 based wilderness adventure. So what is the new feature? I can't believe that it's finally here, and I admit it would have been great to see this capability come a long time ago, but you can finally select items visible on the map in GaiaGPS. For the first time, you can now select multiple items from the map view. This feature doesn't quite work as I envisioned it would, but the way they've implemented screen select does work well and is easy to use. So the new feature is called the Only Visible on Map filter. The Only Visible on Map search filter can save anyone looking to organize their waypoints, routes, and tracks in GaiaGPS web interface many hours and help you finally tame that disorganized mess of saved waypoints, routes, and tracks that have piled up over the years. So how does this new feature work? Firstly, you should know this new feature is exclusive to the web interface of GaiaGPS. While the feature is found in the web app, it manifests its results in a better mobile app performance and ease of use. Let's take a closer look at the web interface so I can show you how the only visible on map search filter works. Okay, here we are in the web version of GaiaGPS. I'm going to use the only visible on map search filter to organize my Colorado a little bit more. Right now you see nothing on the screen. Search for Colorado. I can toggle the folder on and off, and now you're going to see a ton. Of course, the program can only display so much at once. The more you zoom in, the more you're going to see. And this is a lot, especially when you're out driving on a mobile app with all these waypoints on the screen. It can really slow the performance down, and it can just make the map look confusing. So I like to only turn on certain sections at a time. If I go in here, you can see it starts with overview. I'm going to go to the item section, and you can see I still have some waypoints that are not in subfolders, but I do have the state broken down into subfolders for each national park, or for most of the national parks. Now, to try and find a home for these waypoints that are not in subfolders, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, I'm going to turn on Colorado again, go back into the folder, and now I'm going to shut off the view on all the subfolders, and what that's going to do is it's only going to display the waypoints that don't have a home. So everything that's in a subfolder is now not displaying, and what's left displaying is just waypoints that do not have a home. Now, in the past, you'd have to do these one by one. So here I have a few that seem that they are homeless, and they should be in I have trouble saying this one, in the Arapaho, Medicine Bow, Roosevelt National Forest folder, and they do not appear to be in that folder. So I'm going to use the new filter to get these into that folder. So I go to saved items, go to the filter, turn on the tool now, and now it's going to select just what's on the map. So I'm going to zoom in even tighter to make sure that's it. And you can see it's only selecting what's visible on the screen. This is the feature that we've never been able to do before. You've never been able to select multiple items on the screen at once. If I zoom out to get some other waypoints on the screen, like I believe there was one out here to the west, you'll see that one jumps in now. And these ones that are over here in Loveland are selected as well. We don't want those. So it's just what is actually on the screen. So if I zoom in, now just these are coming up. Now to select them, I hit just one of them, and this pops up here. This lets me multi-select every single waypoint that's currently visible. I go over here to File 2, more folders, and I'm going to type what is that? Arapaho? Arapaho. And I'm going to move them in there, and now they should disappear because the Arapaho National Forest is set not to display. So now I know they're in there. Let's zoom back out and see what else doesn't have a home and see if we can put it somewhere it belongs. Here's another one. This one's by itself, so this is going to be the more traditional. I believe this should be in the Pike National Forest folder. What I like to do is use the MVUM and see, there you go. Oh, this should be in Arapaho, Roosevelt as well, so I'm going to put that in there. This one's going to be by itself, but you know what? I'll use the new filter. Saved items, filter, visible on screen. There it is. Click it, move it, more folders, type Arapaho, and move. There we go. And let's zoom out and see what else we can find. All right, so now that I have those in the Arapaho National Forest folder, I'm going to scroll to the south here and see if I have any other waypoints that don't have a home. And here I find this cluster right here. Bunch of dispersed campsites. I can tell by the icon. I like to label every icon with a icon type, so they're just not a big sea of red pins that I don't know what anything is. And I can tell these are all dispersed campsites by the icon that I'm using, and that they're big enough to take my trailer. I do color code them, with red being average in campsite quality, gold being very good, and purple being some of the best sites. And then I use other icons for other types of waypoints, such as this. This is Tunnel, Gold Belt Tour. Here's another one, Old Mining Town. Okay, so how do I select these to put them in their own folder? I'm going to put these in a BLM Royal Gorge folder. And I'm going to use our new search filter, hit Saved Items, hit the filter, make sure it's on. And everything you see here is everything that is now on the screen. So I'm going to hit the one radio button, hit this one that selects everything that's on the screen, hit File 2, create new folder, and I'm going to call this BLM Royal Gorge, create folder. Now, that put them there. Here, they're going to pop right back up in a second here. There you go. And you can see, GaiaGPS is by no means perfect. A lot of the issues that you've been hearing about, they're real issues. For example, I use this new tool, this only visible on map search filter, to reconstruct my directories just within the last week. I installed what I think was a faulty GPX folder. I put it in and it corrupted my directory. I had 2,200 waypoints pop out of their folders. Sounds tragic, catastrophic. And it was, and especially before this tool came out, that was crushing. That was years of work. With this tool, this only visible on map tool, I was able to put everything back where it belonged in an hour. That's how powerful this new tool is when you know how to work with it. So you can see everything now is in the Royal Gorge folder, but that folder itself needs to be in Colorado. So I'm going to go to Colorado. Make sure you turn if you want to bring up folders in the search, you got to turn only visible on map off, because folders will never be visible on map. So you got to turn that off if you want to bring up folders. Here's my folder. And I need to bring up Royal Gorge, actually, the folder I just made. Hit it, select it, File 2, and I'm going to file this to Colorado. There you go. Okay, and now I can turn off BLM Royal Gorge, and those will all disappear. There they go. Sometimes you got to give it a little bit of help. And they are off. And then I can turn them back on. And there they are. They pop back up. And that is how I organize my folders, and I keep everything off when I'm out in the rig on the mobile device, and just turn things on when I'm in an area, which doesn't burden the mobile device as much and makes Gaia run much, much smoother. Okay, so during the filming of this episode here, this how-to, I ran into a problem that's been typical. I installed GaiaGPS on a new mobile device, on a new Android tablet, and for some reason, that makes waypoints, routes, and tracks just pop out of their folders and into the root. Unfortunately, though, here you can see the United States. I have items in the root folder that should be displaying on the map, and they don't. So what ends up happening is you have a bunch of waypoints in this weird Gaia limbo, we'll call it. I've discovered a way how to get them out of Gaia limbo. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So when you go to this info screen, I believe they call this data summary view. I'm going to go to waypoints. So I'm going to go to waypoints. And the default is to show filed. And what that'll do is it'll show everything that is filed into folders, waypoints that are not in the root. That's not what we want. I want to see what's not filed into a folder. And even though some reason when the tablet syncs, they pop out of their folder. And here you see I have 263 that popped out. That's not even bad. I've had as many as 2,500 pop out. So I'm going to show you how to fix this problem. These are not showing on the map. For example, this Tristan site, my friend Tristan showed me a site in Vermont. This should be coming up right now. This should be showing on the map. It's not. So that means this waypoint is in limbo. How do you get it out of limbo? Well, first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to refile all of them. So hit that, 263 of them. I'm going to hit change folder. I'm going to put them in a new folder that I'm going to name refile. It doesn't matter what you name it. Give it a second, and pretty soon you're going to see that now I don't have any unfiled or unarchived waypoints. Chances are if you lost waypoints, I bet routes and tracks popped out too. So you're going to do the same thing for those, just so you can do it. Yep, here I lost 2. No big deal, but we'll move them to refile as well. And then we'll go to tracks, see if any of those popped out. Make sure you hit, oh, I lost more. A whole bunch, 315. All right, we're going to go to into refile, change folder. Okay. Give it a second. 315 is going to take a little longer, but it will go. There it goes. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to here, and I am going to back to the regular map view, and I'm going to find that folder I just made called refile. Make sure the only visible on map filter is off. Make sure your folder is checked on. And I'm going to go to refile. It may not show up for a few minutes. You may need to wait 2 or 3 minutes. It will show up. Saved items. So it seems like it even takes a little bit of time to sync between the data view and the map view internally, but it will show up. There it is, you see? Now if we toggle this on and off, we should get there they are, see? Okay. And I got lucky on this one because as you can see very plainly and clear, everything that popped out of one state. A state, I spend a lot of my overlanding time in, Vermont. It's not as much fun when they pop out of Vermont and New Hampshire because the border here is hard to define, and you can see I had one that was probably misfiled. This track probably was in Vermont even though it should have been in New Hampshire, so I'm going to quickly put that where it belongs. There we go. 11/28/20. I remember that ride. So that's back in New Hampshire. And now I'm going to use that only visible on map filter to put everything back where it belongs. So we're going to turn waypoints on, tracks, routes. And turn on the only visible on map filter. And it's going to take a second here. Okay, so I'm going to select everything. How many items is this going to grab? 304 items. File 2, more folders, Vermont. Put them back. Give it a second. That's a lot of items at once, but it will work. Okay. Now, seems that everything's off the map. I will zoom out. Oh, there's a little bit more up there. And I'll use the filter again. Select everything. More folders, back into Vermont. Get back there. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom out and just kind of check out. Oh, there's something from Maine. Those are my own tracks from the North Maine woods. Those popped out. Let's get those back where they belong. 1, 2. More folders, north. There's my North Main Woods folder. There's only 2 items out of over 250 that popped out. So I can't exactly figure out why things pop out when they do. And it used to be a big issue. Oh, let's see, look, I got some other stuff. I got Moab seemed to have popped out. Most of New Mexico seemed to have popped out. All right, so here I'll put Wyoming back where it goes real quick for you, and then we'll stop it because I think you get the idea. So it's just what's on the screen. So saved items, filter's already on, I know it is. Just to double check, there you go. It's gonna take a second because I'm doing a huge area at once here. There we go, it does work. Take it all, because everything here is in Wyoming. And, you know, I have a few hundred waypoints in Wyoming. Why these 29 popped out when I installed Gaia on a new tablet, I have no idea. But at least I can fix it quickly now, and it's not the tragedy it once was. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fix all this, and then I'm going to show you how to double check to make sure that everything is filed. Okay, so I'm back. It took me about 5 minutes to move everything that I saw with the filter back into its proper folder. And according to the map here, everything's filed. But how do I check? Well, the way I'm going to check is I'm going to check that refile folder that I put everything that was homeless in. I'm going to check that refile folder. Here's the refile folder. And it still says it has 40 items in it, even though I'm not showing any. So what we can do is I recognize some of these, and they're in the lovely state of Vermont. Now if we click on one and zoom in, there it is. So when you have folders with lots of waypoints, sometimes different zoom levels will show different waypoints. So let's try attacking the state of Vermont here with a few different zoom levels to see if we can get, oh, there they are. So when we were zoomed out, we did not grab every single waypoint from Vermont, which is not too big a deal, and this shouldn't be too difficult to fix here. So I'm going to use my handy dandy, visible on map filter, and you know the deal, just start grabbing. And there it goes. Those are going to disappear because they are now where they belong. Usually the more you zoom in, the more it'll find. Sometimes it gives you a problem. Just reopen it. There you go. And there you go. And I'll just keep doing that until everything. Now I'll go back, even though I know I'm not finished. I think there was a few to the south here. Oh, maybe I am. I don't think I am. I don't think that was 40. Yeah, I see 2 more. 3 more, 4 more. Oh, see, coming out of the woodwork. So use the filter, grab them. 5 should not be that difficult to find. There we go. Okay. Back to refile, check that refile folder. If you guys get the idea, of course, you can skip ahead to the last bonus tip. I'm going to show you how to change multiple icons at once. There it is, refile, 7 items, tracks. All right, so you get the idea. I'm not going to show you that. I'll do that off camera. If you've made it this far, you've earned it. I'm going to show you the bonus tip now. Earlier in the video, I promised I would show you how to change icons of waypoints, multiple waypoints at once. It's very useful. A lot of times when people open up their GaiaGPS, their waypoints are all red pins, which is not very informative, and it really doesn't help you find things when you're out in the rig trying to drive, trying to navigate. It really helps when your waypoints have an icon associated with them. So I'm going to take you here to my North Main Woods folder, and you're going to see that a lot of my waypoints are marked, but some of them still are not. There they are. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of campgrounds in the North Main Woods. So the ones that are marked are ones I've already researched. Some of these ones in the deep north here I have not researched so much. Some of them I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn some of these red pins. I know these are all campsites. So I already know that these are campsites. So I know that I can use my typical campsite icon to mark them. So I'm going to do that multiple at once using the visible on map filter tool. So here we go. Turn it on. I'm going to zoom in. Now the purple ones are ones I've researched, and that means they are exceptional campsites. So I don't want to, that one I'm going to mark on its own individually, the old school way, by hitting the edit button and taking that, and there you go. But the red ones, I'll do like this. Select everything. Unselect this not passable marker. I must have been there and learned the hard way you can't go there. Unclick my purple marker. And the one that's already red really doesn't matter. Now I'm going to go here to the three-dot menu, go to Set Icon, and just going to go to my camper. It's the one I use the most. It means it's a campsite that is big enough to take my trailer. If it's a campsite that's only big enough for a tent, I put a tent. If it's big enough for our off-road trailer, I put a trailer. And I hit save, and now it's going to change all of them at once. Look at that. That can definitely save you a whole bunch of time. And that's our bonus tip for this video. Again, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you like our videos and want to see more content like this. And it's almost Christmas, so I hope everybody has a happy holidays and a wonderful new year. Hope to see you out in the trail someday. Thanks again for watching Go 4 Low.